any longer, Mary. He evidently isn't coming. You may clear the table. I won't eat anything now. I'll have something after a while.
Very well, ma'am.
Fred? Fred? Oh, Fred! Fred! I love you so much.
Shh. Someone might hear you.
There's no one around. They're all in the back having dinner. You've had yours?
Mm-hmm.
They won't expect you then. There's nothing to fear. I've locked the door. But you do love me, don't you, Fred? I know, but I love to hear it.
Of course I love you. You know I do, Mildred.
I can't stand this life much longer, Fred. These last 2 weeks while he's been away have been heaven to me. But when I think of his coming back tonight, I could kill him.
You mustn't feel so badly about it. You've got to make the best of it. That's all.
Well, you take it very easily. Think of me.
Well, you know, Mildred, I like to do something. But how can I help matters? I haven't any money. We can't go away together yet.
But I can get money. All the money we need.
His money?
I have my jewels. I can sell those.
He gave you those jewels.
Oh, why are you so hard on me? Why won't you let me help a little?
I don't want to touch any of his money. How I want you. God, how I want you. But I just can't do that. We'll have to wait and love when we can for a while. I promise you it won't be long. I've worked this far and I don't intend to stop here. As soon as I've passed my engineering examinations, and I will pass them, go away together. I won't be anybody's servant then.
Fred, dearest, please take me away now, tonight, before he gets back. What difference does the money make as long as I have you?
You don't know what you're talking about. You never stand it. Being poor doesn't mean anything to you. You've never been poor. Well, I have, and I know. It's hell. That's what it is. You're used to having everything, and when you found out you were tied to a servant who could give you nothing, you'd soon get tired. And I'd be the last one to blame you for it. I'm working out, and I don't want to go back and drag you with me.
You don't realize how much I love you, or you wouldn't talk like that. I would rather die of starvation with you than go on like this.
You don't know what starvation means. Besides, how do you know he'll get a divorce? He might keep you bound to him in name for years just for spite.
No, I'm sure he isn't as mean as all that. To do him justice, he's been kind to me in his way. He's looked upon me as his plaything, the slave of his pleasure. A pretty toy to be exhibited so that others might envy him his ownership. But he's given me everything I've ever asked for. Without a word, more than I've ever asked for. He hasn't ever known what the word husband ought to mean, but he's been a very considerate owner. Let's give him credit for that. I don't think...
Go on. I expect to hear you love him next.
Oh, don't misunderstand me. I simply can't think of the devil in human form you would make him out to be. I love him. It was my kind parents who loved his money. He is so much older than I am, and we have nothing in common. Well, I simply don't love him. There's an end to it. And so, being his wife, I hate him. But what's your plan?
When the time comes, I shall go to him frankly and tell him that we both love each other. I shall offer to go away quietly without any fuss or scandal with you. Now, if he's the man you think him, and I don't agree with you on that point, he'll get a divorce so secretly that it won't even get into the papers. He'll save his own name and yours. Now, if he tries to be nasty about it, I will something that will bring him around. Oh, I haven't been idle. His past is none too spotless.
What have you found out?
I can't tell you now. It's got nothing to do with you anyway. It was a business deal.
Business deal?
Yes, it happened a long time ago. Oh, but what can be keeping him? What time did he say he'd be here?
The telegram said for dinner. Oh, if you knew the agony that telegram caused me. I knew it had to come, but I kept hoping against hope that something would detain him. After the wire came and I knew he would be here, I kept thinking of how he would claim me and force his loathsome kisses on me, and I was filled with horror. That's why I asked you to take me away tonight, to save me that degradation. It is getting late. Maybe he won't come after all. Fred, dearest, we may have one more night together.
There he is now. I know the sound of his car.
Oh, God. He's gone to the garage. They're meeting. Oh, God. Oh.
As beautiful as ever, I see.
Well, you're all togged out.
Is it the welcome the prodigal bridegroom?
Of course.
And how has the fairest of the fair been while her lord has been out on the highway?
Very well.
Time hang heavily on your hands in this rural paradise?
The limousine has been out of commission. Fred had to send away for some new part or other. I was rather glad of the opportunity to rest up a bit. You know, when you're here, we're always on the go. How's the car?
Great. I made 106 this week. Ran across 8 straight miles of level road. Let her out to the limit. That's some car, all right. By the way, where's Fred?
Wasn't he at the garage?
No one was there.
He must have gone to dinner. We'd all given you up. Why do you want to see him?
Because I was forgetting the car isn't all right just now. I blew out a tire yesterday and went into a ditch. Nothing serious. I backed out all right, and everything seemed to be okay after I'd put on a new tire. She ran smoothly today until I hit the road up here, about 6 o'clock. That's why I'm so late. Had the devil of a time making this hill. Or mountain, I should say. Engine worked fine, but there's something wrong with the steering gear. It was all I could do to hold the road, and you know I'm no slouch at driving. I nearly ran into boulders and trees innumerable. All the people at the summer camp down the line were looking at me. Thought I was drunk, I guess. I had to just creep up here. If I'd have gone faster, hubby would be draped around some pine tree now. Sorry, you'd look well in black. I think I'll have to have this house moved down into the valley. It's too much of a climb, and the roads are devilish. No car, even if it has 90 horsepower, can stand the gap long. I've paid enough for tires on account of this road to have it macadamized 10 times over. Eaten yet?
No, I wasn't hungry enough to eat alone. I'll have something light later on. And you?
Yeah, I had something on the way. Knew I'd probably be late up here.
Shall I have him get you anything?
No, I'm not hungry.
Then, if you don't mind, I think I'll go upstairs and take off this dress. I'm rather tired tonight. I'll be with you again in a short time.
Why the formality of asking? Have I been away as long as all that? I mean, make yourself comfortable, of course. I have only to humbly thank you for going to all the trouble. I assure you, I appreciate it. You really do look charming.
Thank you. You'll find the letters I did not forward on top of the desk.
There's nothing much here except bills. Hi, Jean. Looking as pretty as ever.
Good evening, sir.
Are you looking for Mrs. Baldwin? She just went upstairs to change her dress.
No, sir. I just left Mrs. Baldwin. She said she wished to be alone and that I ought to tell you that she had a headache and she might be down later if she felt better.
Anything you wish to see me about?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is it? Oh, by the way, before you begin, can you tell me if Fred went down to the village tonight or not?
I'm quite sure he's over at the garage, sir.
I must phone to him about fixing the car. If he can. Can't use it the way it is. But what is it that's troubling you?
I hardly dare to tell you, sir.
I love to comfort beauty in distress.
I know you'll be awful angry at me when you hear it.
You're foolish to think so. It's a love affair, of course.
Yes, sir.
Well, who was the fortunate party and what has he done? Or not done?
Oh, no, you're mistaken, sir. It isn't my love affair. It's someone else's.
You're very mysterious. Whose is it then?
It's Fred's, sir.
But I had rather an idea that you and Fred were not altogether indifferent to each other. You don't mean to tell me the handsome young devil has jilted you?
He does not love me anymore.
I shall have to chide him. His morals are really too corrupt for his station in life. My only advice to you is to find another sweetheart. There's nothing that consoles one so much for the loss of a lover as another lover.
I am well through with him. It's you and not me who ought to be the most concerned this time.
Ah, and pray tell me why I should be interested in the amours of my chauffeur.
There's lots of things happened since you've been away.
I'm waiting for you to reveal in what way this all concerns me.
They've been together all the time you've been away. Every day and every night, too. I've watched them when they thought no one was around. I heard their I love yous and their kisses. Oh, they thought they were so safe. But I'll teach him to throw me over the way he did. I'll pay her for all her looking down on me and stealing him away. She's a bad woman is what I say. Let her keep to her husband like she ought to and not go meddling with other people.
It isn't one of the servants? No, I forget. You said she was married. One of the summer people near here? Someone in this house? Be careful. Think of what you're saying. There's only one other person in this house. Do you mean to say it is that person? Answer me. Answer me, do you hear? Is that the person you refer to?
Yes.
You lie. You lie! Tell me you lie, damn you! You understand, don't you, that what you were saying requires more proof than the statement of a mere servant?
I've got proof, don't you worry. But I don't know whether I'll show it to you or not.
You will show me, damn you.
Don't you dare touch me, or I'll scream and tell them all about it. I'll prove it to you. But it isn't because I'm afraid of you or your threats, but simply because I want to get even with her. Do you recognize her writing when you see it?
Give it to me.
Will you promise to tell her, them, how you found out after I'm gone? I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I'd like them to know it was me who spoiled their fun. Will you promise?
Yes! Yes! Anything, just give it to me!
There, take it.
Which night it was this she speaks of?
The night before last.
She says she would come to him at 11:30. Did she mean the garage?
Yes. When she thought we were all in bed in the back part of the house, she would slip down and go out the front door. She kept on the grass and in the shade of the trees so no one would notice her.
You know all this?
I followed her on several different nights.
You must hate her.
I loved Fred.
Why was she so careless as to write this note? Couldn't she have telephoned him or told him?
The little garage telephone was out of order. It was only fixed this morning. The Lynches were here to dinner and she had no chance to speak to him alone. She sent me to the garage to tell him to come over. When he came, she pretended to give him some orders and dropped that at his feet. I suspected something, so I was watching and saw it all.
How did you get a hold of this?
Yesterday, when he went to the village to see if the new part for the limousine had come, I went to the garage and found that in the inside pocket of his other clothes.
He's very careless.
They knew you wouldn't be home until today, and they felt safe. And I knew you wouldn't believe me without proof.
Do you think he's missed this?
No. As you said, he's very careless in such matters. If he does miss it, he'll think he has forgotten where he hid it.
Here we go. Be sure you leave in the morning, otherwise
You
there won't-
needn't fret. I wouldn't stay another day if you paid me $1 million. Oh, I'm glad that's off my mind. I'll sleep tonight. I haven't slept a bit, it seems, since you've been away. What are you going to do?
Go. Go!
I wish you luck.
Dirty cur! By God, I'll do it. Hello, Fred. You haven't touched the car? Good. Take it out immediately. Go to the village and get a doctor. Any doctor. Mildred, Mrs. Baldwin has been taken very ill. Hemorrhage, I think. Blood running from her mouth. She's unconscious. It's a matter of life and death. Drive like hell, do you hear? Drive like hell. Her life's in your hands. Turn the car loose. Drive like hell. Drive to hell, you bastard. Yes, this is Mr. Baldwin. What? How horrible. They're bringing it up here? Yes, that's right. Yes, come right into the house. It is terrible. Awful road. Knew something of the kind would happen sometime. Ever so much obliged for your trouble.
Yes, sir.
Where's Jean?
She's gone to bed, sir. Shall I call her?
No, you'll do just as well. Well, if you run up and tell Mrs. Baldwin I'd like very much to see her in a few minutes. Tell her it's something of importance, or else I wouldn't disturb her.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to not have come down before, but my head aches wretchedly. I sent Jean to tell you. Did she?
Yes, she told me.
I really thought you had gone out again. That was one reason why I didn't come down. I heard the car go out and supposed, of course, it was you.
No, it was Fred.
You sent him to the village for something?
I simply told him there was something wrong with the steering gear, something I couldn't discover. I told him to attend to it if he could, the first thing in the morning. Seems like he has gone me one better and is trying to locate the trouble tonight. Really, his zeal in my service is astounding.
But isn't it very dangerous to go over these roads at night in a car that's practically disabled?
Fred is very careless, very, very careless in some things. I shall have to teach him a lesson. He is absolutely reckless, especially when it comes to other people's property. You're worrying about Fred, but I'm bewailing my car, which he's liable to smash from pure overzealousness. Chauffeurs, even overzealous ones, are to be had for the asking. But cars like mine are out of the ordinary.
Why do you talk talk like that? No, you don't mean it.
I assure you I do, every word of it.
You said you wished to see me on something of importance.
Exactly, my dear. We're coming to that. I wanted to ask you, Mildred, if you were perfectly happy up here.
Why, of course. What makes you ask such a question?
Well, you know, I've left you so much alone this summer, I feel rather conscience-stricken. You must be bored to death on this mountain with none of your old friends around. I was thinking it might be a good plan for us to economize a bit by letting Fred go and getting by with just my car. It would be quite possible then for you to go to some more fashionable resort where things would be livelier for you.
Oh, I assure you I'm quite contented where I am. Of course I miss you and I feel a trifle lonely at times, but then I have the other car and, you know, I enjoy motoring so much.
Do you? You never seem to care very much about touring around with me.
Well, you drive so dreadfully fast, I'm frightened to death.
Fred is a careful driver then.
Very careful.
You have no complaint to make against him?
None at all. I think he's the best chauffeur we've ever had.
Why, I am delighted to hear that. I had an idea that Fred was reckless.
He's always very careful when he drives me. As for the rest of the help, they're average, with one exception. I think I shall discharge Jean. She's getting so bold and insolent. I can't put up with it any longer. As soon as I can get a new maid, I shall let her go.
You may save yourself the trouble. She's going to leave tomorrow. She gave me notice of her departure when you sent her downstairs.
It is just like her to act that way. Another piece of her insolence. I suppose I'll have to make the best of it. It's good riddance at all events.
Do you suppose Fred will stay with us when he finds out?
Finds out what? Why shouldn't he stay?
No, he's Jean's lover. Or was.
That's a lie!
What, my dear? As if it mattered.
How silly of me. It was my anger at Jean breaking out. But I am sure you are mistaken. I know Jean was very much in love with him, but I don't not think he ever noticed her.
Now, you are mistaken. He may not care for her at present, but there was a time...
I do not believe it. That was servants' gossip you heard.
It was not what I heard, my dear Mildred, but what I saw with my own eyes.
You saw them?
In a very compromising position, to say the least. But that was long ago. Besides, what have these servant intrigues to do with us? I was only joking about Fred leaving. In fact, from what Jean said, Fred already has some other foolish woman in love with him. Only this time it is no maid, if you please, but the lady of the house herself, who has lost her heart at the sight of his dark curls. The fellow is ambitious.
Do you know who this woman is?
I have one of her letters, right here. Would you care to read it?
Well,
Well, you do not know how to play the game, my sweet Mildred. If ever guilt was stamped on a face, it was on yours a moment ago.
yes, I love him. I acknowledge it.
No, you are better at affirming than denying. It takes courage to proclaim oneself the mistress of one's chauffeur, to play second fiddle to one's maid.
You lie. He's a man, not the beast that you
Be
are.
calm. You will awaken your rival, and she will hear and come to listen and gloat.
Oh, it was she who stole that letter.
Exactly. You are a novice at the game, my dear. Take the advice of a hardened old sinner. In the years and loves to come, never write any more letters. Kisses come and kisses go, but letters remain forever and are often brought into court.
I cannot help this. I love him. That's all. What are you going to do?
It was to tell you that I sent for you.
You will get a divorce?
No,
You will keep me tied to you when you know I do not love you, when you know I love someone else. You will not be as hard on me as that, will you, Arthur? This is not all my fault. You've never really loved me. We're not the same age. We have nothing in common. It would be needless cruelty to both of us to keep up this farce. You will not keep me tied to you for mere spite, will you?
No. What I intend to do is to let you get a divorce. I will give you all the evidence you need. Could I be fairer than that?
You will do that? Oh. Thank you. Thank you.
There, that's no more than just. I realize that youth must have its day. You should have trusted me.
How could I dream that you would be so kind? I did not dare to hope that you would ever forgive me, and he was certain you would think only of revenge. Oh, how unjust we've been to you.
Yeah, it is true. Neither of you has given me due credit for being the man I am, or you would never have acted as you did. I've known from the first. It must have been for money you married me. An old man like me. Tell me the truth. Wasn't it?
Yes. I would not lie to you now. My family forced me into it. You must have realized that. I hardly knew you. They were nagging me night and day until I gave in. It was anything to get away from home. Oh, I am sorry. So sorry. Can you ever forgive me?
I have done my best to make you happy. I've given you everything you desired, have I not?
You've been very good, very kind to me. I've tried to love you, but there was always been a gulf separating us. I could never understand you.
I've trusted you, have I not? Always and in everything?
Yes. But you've never loved me. I have just been a plaything with which you amused yourself. Or so it has always seemed to me. Perhaps I have been unjust to you in that too.
If I have regarded you as a plaything, I was only accepting the valuation your parents set upon you when they sold you. But these things are over and done, and it is useless to discuss them. Let's talk of the present. You love Fred?
Yes, I do.
I will not stand in your way. You shall have him.
Oh, I do love you now. You are so good to me.
Thanks for that. I hear a machine coming. It is Fred, I know. We'll have him in and relieve his mind by telling him of our agreement.
That doesn't sound like your car.
It is Fred, I tell you. I know it is Fred. In here, if you please. In here. Come along. Mrs. Baldwin.
Yes, sir. Please, go upstairs. Oh, sir, Mrs. Baldwin has ordered me out of the room. She's gone mad, sir. She's pulling out all the drawers. She's looking for something.
You'd best phone the doctor, Mary.